Live from the historic Ham Building in St. Paul, it's the Haberdasher's Couch. I'm Kendrick, inviting you to the show, starring Heimie and Todd, featuring Todd Walker, also featuring Amy Charlo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Heimie.
Happy Friday and welcome to another show of the Haberdasher's Couch, where you don't have to pay somebody to listen to you. I am so lucky to have two wonderful guests with me today from Fashion Fest 2023. First of all, we know Todd Walker from Todd About Town, who's with us weekly discussing what's happening around town. And I'm fortunate to have Nick, your last name? Engbloom.
Yep.
With me today, who actually started Fashion Fest?
Yeah, I'd say it started with some people.
It's coming up, benefiting the M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital on Friday, November 17th at the Renaissance Hotel in the Depot. That's a mouthful. In Minneapolis.
You did a great job, I have to say. It's pretty fantastic.
So, what's unique about this Fashion Fest, this show, is that it goes to raise funds towards children's pediatrics. Heart transplants, neonatal care, organ transplants, bone marrow, cancer treatments. It goes on and on. And that's not inexpensive, that's expensive for families, right?
I don't even have to be here. You've got it all. You've got it all figured out. Yes, it is. It's very expensive.
Yes,
so
yes.
I appreciate you calling out probably some of the most sick kids that need the most care, right?
Right.
And events like this are taking care of that.
Right.
You hit it on the head.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that the docs, the administration, people like you will all be mingling that night, talking and coming up with new ideas, but also having fun, right? At the same time, the kids will be there. Some of the kids will be there.
That's what makes this event special. Todd and I were talking earlier. You're blending world-renowned researchers with patients walking the runway with celebrity influencers, people that are in media, and then you've got athletes all raising money for an amazing hospital while celebrating fashion.
And it's a packed event, and yes, it all goes to a great cause, but I have to say, having been involved, we were talking about this, I think for 9 or 10 years, it is so much fun, and there's such great energy and such a great vibe that happens here. But Nick, why don't we back up just for a moment, talk about a little bit about your experience with Fashion Fest, how this all got started, and you really hold 2 different positions when it comes to this event.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. When I started this with Elizabeth, my colleague, 10 years ago, it was a community opportunity through a committee, right? Like, we need to bring a fashion show in town, raising money for Masonic Children's Hospital, and how do we pull this off? And we got all these community volunteers to get involved 10 years ago, hoping to raise $75,000, right? That was the goal.
Right.
And we formed this committee, and we got Andrea Jelm to do the fashion show all for free. And we said, what if we tapped into our corporate partners and sold sponsorships and get partners involved to make this all about the community? So then local boutiques jumped on, and we turned this from a wine, women, and shoes event to a fashion fest, where then 10 years later, we've now raised over $2.2 million. We've blended amazing boutiques, thanks to Heimie's Haberdashery, you've been involved for many years, to be able to sell product on site, where 25% of sales go back to the Children's Hospital. But also, we have amazing sponsors, live auction, big cash giving opportunities, and then we kind of blow it up with a massive fashion show that lasts 30 minutes, and at the end of it, everybody wants more, right? And that's what it's all about.
But Nick, you're also involved in different areas. I mean, you're the auctioneer, and so Nick runs around and gets people to spend money on a number of these amazing live auction items that have been donated, which is incredible in itself. But then you also have a position with the hospital.
Yeah, so this is all part of, I've got an amazing team that puts these events on, and that's the goal, is to get these guests to come in and say, I want to be more involved. What does it look like, right? And so our team then goes and asks these partners to give generously from their personal finances, pulling out of their wallets to say, not only can I give at your events, but I would like to name a space in the hospital. I want to support programming. I want to help music therapy, art therapy. I want to help, build a space. And we're working towards asking them for millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but leaving a legacy to support patients and families that not necessarily are there right now, but they might come in the future, right? We want to create a place that is as home away from home as possible for these kids that spend anywhere from 3 days to years in our children's hospital. And so people, it is hard to ask for money, but I feel grateful that I can ask people to give, knowing that I know that their dollars are being used for something super special in that children's hospital.
And the number of personal interest stories that are shared, I mean, if it does not hit you right here every single year, you think, wow, can there even be a more amazing story that's shared by one of the children or by the families together. It's and then to see the progress that has been made, it's just a really great event just to even be a part of.
10 years flies by fast, and you're going to see on stage on Friday next week, Friday, that the patient that is speaking was on the runway 10 years ago as a cancer patient, and she was told she could never have a child because of her diagnosis, and she is literally giving birth this week, and then coming to the fashion show to talk.
Whoa!
So it shows you where we've come.
Yeah.
Right?
And what's the connectivity between the hospital and your organization? And I'm sure there's other fundraisers for the hospital, but this must be one of the largest avenues of approach for them.
Yeah, so the University of Minnesota Foundation, who I work for, is contracted to raise money for M Health Fairview, and we've always had Wine Fest, which is a 4-day food and wine festival in May, the Champions for Children event, the golf tournament, and the fashion show. These 3 events are the key benefit events from Masonic Children's Hospital. These are the top donors, the biggest partners, and it raises the most money in that short span of time, but it allows us to take that platform of an event and tell a story. Why people should be involved, what we need money for. And when we can step back from that and say, we raised $750,000 that night, if you take a look at the entire year, that night inspires people to give millions of dollars throughout the year. So we can't say this event is just the largest event for that night. We probably look at an ROI in an event like this and go, we raised $10 million in a year because of an event like Fashion Fest.
Right.
And that's what it's all about, is inspiring the community to make a difference.
Yeah. So tell me, the event itself, it's at the depot.
Yep.
Parking, okay.
Yeah, there's parking right there.
Valet, underground, great.
Pre-buy the tickets online.
Yeah, there's very limited tickets left for the
Okay.
event. We're almost, I think, only standing room only. All the
Okay.
sponsorships are sold out. All the fashion rows are sold out.
Good.
Honestly, the biggest thing about this event is
Yeah.
we've never had a invite go out because it is so sought after. Once the e-blast hits, tickets sell,
Right
sponsorships
away.
sell immediately.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And Todd, you're going to be there on the pink
Yeah,
carpet?
I'm doing what's called the pink carpet. So when people come in, I'll be interviewing them, finding a little bit about the fashions that they may be wearing,
Right.
what brings them to the event, and then there will be a photographer there doing some video of that as well. And it just, we talk about who attends this event. It's really I hate to say a see and be seen event, but everybody is there. I mean, when you're standing backstage, and because I'm also walking in the show, there is just, the media personality, the athletes, the University of Minnesota football players, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, how many models walk in the show? Do you have a rough
110 models for the show.
Yeah,
And there
it's-
are some repeat, right? And
Yeah.
I think Todd he's underselling the amount of work he's putting in. He's on the pink carpet. He's a wingman, so he's sponsored
the
by
wingman.
Red Wing.
Yeah.
Then he's doing 2 or 3 looks.
Yep.
He's one of those guys that does the first look and then he runs back, changes, and comes back out and does it. So he's very involved.
And Nick brings up the wingmen, and this is something that I've been involved in. I think since the beginning as well. And this is Red Wing Shoes has been a really great sponsor of Fashion Fest. And so myself and a group of other guys, we wear these t-shirts that say Wingmen, and then we go around and we meet with the different sponsors, take their items that they're trying to sell, and then go out into the crowds and encourage the ladies and gentlemen to go out and to go back to the booth to buy. And it's become a friendly competition between me and all the different wingmen. We go back, we say, how many people did you get over to the booth? And so we have a great time as well. So it's just really fun.
Will this be sort of repackaged and available online to view or preview after the fest? And what can you recommend if you can't make it but you want to participate? Both watch the show online, donate, right?
Yep.
And how to connect if you can't make the show.
Yeah, you can always go to the website, which I'm assuming we can share here shortly.
Yep.
After the event, we usually throw out a hype video, and then we try to condense the fashion show into here are all the looks, right? I think it's hard to put an entire night online. It costs lots of money. So that's the benefit of buying your tickets to show up. But to follow up afterwards, we're always looking for people to make donations or just reach out and ask, can I volunteer at next year's event? That's what it becomes about, is how can people get involved after and be more engaged.
And to support some of these sponsors, and some of the clothing sponsors, some of the people that are, actually donating their time, just to look at that sponsorship list. And a lot of them have different opportunities post-show where you can go in for discounts and things.
Yeah, I see that there's hot links at Fashion Fest at umn.ed.
Edu,
there's hot links for each one of those sponsors.
You got it.
Which is awesome.
So go support them as well.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Give us the date again, and then we'll just recap, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show. Date?
Next
time?
Friday,
Next
November
Friday?
17th, the doors open at 6 p.m. and we go till midnight. We have an after-party dance. So
Wonderful. And Todd, next week, maybe we'll cover a
Sure.
little of the results on the show.
We certainly will. We certainly will. And yes, I will be there earlier to get ready for the pink carpet as well. And then we'll show some clips of the pink carpet for afterwards as well.
I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. Good luck with your show. I'm glad we can participate in any way, and we'll see you next week.